Well, the Blue Jays get swept by the Minnesota Twins, losing today 9-1. Trent Thornton on the mound today, and coming off that really good outing in his last one against the Texas Rangers, going 7 strong shutout innings. Today, he can't get out of the second inning. He goes 2 innings, giving up 7 hits, 5 runs, walks a couple batters. He was awful in the ball game. And you know what else was awful? The Blue Jays bats. With the 9-1 loss today, the Blue Jays now lose the series, 20-1. That is the scoring difference. That is atrocious. You lost 8-0, 3-0, and then 9-1. The only run that you had was a solo shot from Billy McKinney, who just cleared the wall there in right field. The Jays have now lost 8 of 9 games. They can't get any offense. Their pitching is falling apart right now. It's awful. It's downright awful. I mean, if you want to try and take any positives from the game, it's really difficult because you had 2 hits. Again. Billy McKinney 1 for 3, obviously, with the home run, and Freddie Galvis 1 for 4. But other than that, nothing. Completely nothing by the Toronto Blue Jays. So is there any positives on the mound? Well, Gavilio gave up a couple runs in his inning of work. Derek Locke came out in 2 innings, gave up 1 hit and struck out 4 guys. So that's, I guess, a positive to take from that. Luciano had a tough inning. He gave up 3 hits in his 1 inning, gave up a couple runs. And Tim Mesa gave up 2 hits, but struck out the side in his inning. Daniel Hudson and Thomas Pannone also went shutout innings. But in the end, the Jays get no offense. And the starting pitching ain't good enough. We've talked about it over and over again. We talked about it last year. We talked about it even this year. When you get timely hitting, good starting pitching, and good defense, you will win these games. You got a bad start. You didn't get any hits today. And your defense wasn't very good. You committed 2 errors in the ball game, both early on in the game, which kind of led to the deficit. They weren't good. They haven't been good for a little while. They've lost now 5 straight games. They're now 15-22 on the year. They're playing atrocious baseball. And heck, I'm going Friday night with my girlfriend. Happy birthday. Go to watch a Jays team that's lost 5 straight. But who knows? They might win the game because they're playing the White Sox. But who knows at this point? The offense for this team has dried up to basically nothing. Now, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did not play in the ball game today. And, excuse me. And it's so funny because this Jays team, just about a couple of weeks ago, won 3 of 4 against these Minnesota Twins. Then they come to Toronto and they beat you like you're playing. It's a big league team playing A-ball. They crushed the Jays. That team that we saw a week and a half ago, I don't know where the heck they've gone. Their season's already done. They're already heading home for the summer, or for the winter, I guess. But like we did in yesterday's video, and we are going to do it again, we are going to go to the minor leagues and see who did what. Because ideally, that's the only positives we have. We don't have many positives from this ball game today. But from the minor leagues, we talked about in the last video, we talked about Brendan Revere having a big game for the AAA Buffalo Bisons. He went 1 for 5 again today, scored a run in that game. And Cavan Biggio had another amazing ball game. He had a rough one there yesterday, but he did a really good job there today. 3 for 4 with a couple RBIs, raising his average up to 344 for Cavan Biggio. This guy has been incredible. And if he continues to hit like this, it would not surprise me by All-Star break time if he's a Blue Jay. It would not surprise me. This Blue Jays team continues to play the way they are. It would not surprise me in the slightest if he's a Blue Jay by All-Star break or trade deadline or whatnot. But other than that, really, there's nothing really positive from the Buffalo Bisons game. Let's go to the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. And my boy Santiago Espinal that we've been talking about, he went 2 for 4 in the game today with an RBI. He's now hitting .297 there at AAA Buffalo. AA New Hampshire. And a guy the Jays did acquire, I forgot when they acquired him, Andrew Sopko. He's there in Double A, and he's pitching pretty damn good. He went 5 shutout innings again today, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and an ERA of 2.34. Keep an eye on this guy. Now, he is a 1994, so you guys can do the math. He's about 24, 25 years old. So when it comes to him, you don't really know what we're going to have, especially since he's only in Double A at 24 and 25. But some people bloom late. He's pitching really well there in Double A, New Hampshire. So keep an eye on him, and very, very soon you might see this guy in Triple A Buffalo. Excuse me, guys. Again, still fighting this cold here. Throat's a little itchy all the time. It's got to find a way to get out of this. You guys know how it is when it comes to the weather changing and all that kind of stuff. Now let's go to the Lansing Lugnuts, because for the Dunedin Blue Jays, couldn't find anything positive there. So we'll just flip right to Lansing. And Jordan Groshans, we talked about him in the last video, about him being injured and not playing in the last game. But he was available to play today, and he did so. He went 2 for 5 in the game. He's hitting .346 down there in A-ball. Again, remember, he's 19 years old. Keep an eye on this young kid. He's got a lot of promise as a middle infielder. Again, yes, he's a middle infielder right now, but as we've seen with guys like Lourdes Gurriel Jr., doesn't mean he's going to be an infielder once he comes to the big leagues, because I have a weird feeling that Jordan Groshans is going to be damn special. But on a more negative note, I guess, Juan DePaula, the guy we got in the main piece of the Kevin Pillar trade, he had a rough outing there in A-ball at 21 years old, 3 2/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, and 4 walks. He had a rough game there, ERA of 7.16 in A-ball. So not very good things there early on for Juan DePaula. But again, young guy, 21 years old, again, for Kevin Pillar and all that stuff. Lots and lots of room to grow for this young kid. And that's what the Blue Jays have. They have time, because they're not going to be contending. Clearly, with only 14,000 people there at the ballpark there tonight, you're not going to win a whole lot of games. And not a lot of people are going to go to the ballpark knowing you're not going to win a lot of games, all right? So, guys, that is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and you guys did not enjoy the game or the series, smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, the video, the youngin' prospects that we've been talking about, and Ben Revere, of course, because he's a fan favorite and the guy that I think if this team continues to struggle, bring him up. Because all these guys, all these, top-notch Shapiro and all these big guys are all about selling seats, right? Oh, my goodness. That one caught me by surprise there. They're all about selling seats and getting people into the stadium. Bring up a guy like Ben Revere. Give us a flashback of 2015. It might not put like 30,000 into the seats, but it might put some more butts in the seats. So guys, oh my. You can tell it tickles in the throat really hard right now. We're going to drink of water after this, but I want to hear your thoughts on the whole Ben Revere situation, guys, the Cavan Biggio situation. What are your early thoughts on Jordan Groshans? And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition tomorrow afternoon. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, guys. Do all that great stuff. And check out Mo Buckets on Twitter, my main man. Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. Great stuff. Great content there on Blue Jays Wave. Great guy. He's quick. It's beautiful. He's one of the first guys I see when it comes to reporting Blue Jays news. So again, check him out, Blue Jays Wave on Instagram, guys. And I'll talk to you guys, Raptors edition, Game 6 of their Eastern Conference semifinal matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers there tomorrow night as the Raptors look to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Boston Celtics there tonight. So if the Raptors do win tomorrow, or even if they win in Game 7 and move on to the conference finals, they will be facing the Milwaukee Bucks on the road. All right? But first up, you got to take care of business tomorrow against Philly at Wells Fargo Center, 8 p.m. tip-off there in Philadelphia. And as for the Toronto Blue Jays, guys, their next matchup is on Friday. My girlfriend and I will be at that game for that one, and we're just praying and hoping to God that we see a half-decent ball game for the Toronto Blue Jays. Dylan Covey on the mound for the Chicago White Sox, and Clay Buchholz on the mound for the Blue Jays in Game 1. Game 2 is Ivan Nova versus Marcus Stroman. And then Game 3, as of right now, is Lucas Giolito. And we have no idea who it is for the Toronto Blue Jays as of yet. I think it's probably going to be Thomas Pannone again, unless they're going to fire in Gavilio. I don't know how they're going to work that whole fifth spot in the rotation. But again, guys, just hopefully we can win a game. Because It's a lot more fun to talk about. Talking about our young prospects and our futures is fun and all, but I'd much rather talk about a win by our actual Blue Jays team. They've lost 5 straight. They're not playing good ball. They're not hitting. They're not pitching. They're playing terrible defense. It's a whole bunch of garbage show right now for the Toronto Blue Jays, but they look to kind of get back into the winning ways, I guess it is, on Friday as they welcome in the White Sox to Rogers Center. 7:07 first pitch there. Dylan Covey and Clay Buchholz are the pitching matchups in Game 1 of the 3-game set against the White Sox. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.